Trouble for President Bush in Panama. Protests lead to tear gas and then panic. If it ain't broke, they allegedly fix it anyway. A major car repair chain accused of ripping off customers. And the money crunch. Tonight, let the buyer beware. Higher car prices are on the way. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening. Dan Rather reporting. A high-risk election year presidential trip got off to a shaky start today. President Bush had to cancel the set-piece event of his visit to Panama and make a quick exit when security forces clashed with nearby protesters. There was tear gas and panic. Susan Spencer reports from Panama City.
The welcome had been warm, the president sticking to his decision not to change his schedule, when suddenly, from an area about 150 yards from the park where he was to speak, a small crowd of anti-American protesters got ugly. They hurled rocks and bottles. Gunfire broke out a few blocks away. Edgy Panamanian riot troops didn't wait for more. Tear gas by the canister made its way to the podium where Secret Service agents calmly ushered a pale President and Mrs. Bush off the stage. And then, guns drawn, made sure they were safely whisked away to the security of Albrook Air Force Base. Until the trouble, the crowds had been very friendly, waving American flags along the route. But anti-American demonstrators who accused the U.S. of not adequately compensating Panama for damage done during the '89 invasion had stepped up their protests all week. Speaking at the airbase, Mr. Bush was clearly angry.
And no tiny little left-wing demonstration is going to set your democracy back.
But he said the experience had only strengthened his faith in Panama.
Democracy doesn't come easy. But I could sense in that crowd today and amongst the leaders today the determination to perfect and see Panama's democracy come to total fulfillment.
Mr. Bush is safely on his way to Rio now. He apparently never was in any real danger. But this is clearly not the way the White House envisioned the first foreign trip of the '92 campaign. And it may very well raise questions as to the wisdom of continuing with such a public schedule in light of the recent anti-American protests here. Susan Spencer, CBS News, Panama City.
Mr. Bush will be joining other world leaders in Rio for the Earth Summit, and there was trouble there as well today. UN security forces broke up a sit-in by an international group of students. They called the conference a farce, blaming President Bush and the United States for blocking strong measures on global warming and endangered species. The largest chain of car repair shops in the United States could lose its license to operate, at least in California. It's the chain run by Sears. As Ron Allen reports, California officials say Sears was running a ripoff with phony car repairs.
There's a saying, you can count on Sears. I'm here to tell you, in auto repair, you cannot.
State consumer protection officials want to shut down all the automotive repair giants' California garages. Undercover agents say during an 18-month investigation, Sears frequently performed unneeded repairs and overcharged by an average of more than $200. Investigators say they also were charged for work that was never done, and in some cases actually got their cars back in worse or unsafe condition.
They were systematically looting the public. I don't know how far it goes, but let me put it this way. I do not think it stops at state lines.
Sears runs more than 800 repair shops, the nation's largest chain. And after today's news, their slogan might need an overhaul.
Do you still trust Sears?
Maybe just a little less than I did before I read the article.
I trust Sears because I've been a Sears customer for years and they have guarantees.
The investigation began after consumer complaints increased by some 50%. And officials say that happened when Sears started paying many automotive employees based on commissions and sales quotas. That practice is nationwide. In California, investigators say Sears employees under pressure to sell a certain amount of repair work use scare tactics on unwitting customers. Sears categorically denies that and plans a vigorous fight to save its reputation as the place where America shops.
This is one of the largest, oldest, and most trusted retail institutions in this country, whose franchise for dealing with the consumer is the trust that they have created in that relationship.
But investigators insist they carefully check Sears' work by marking and photographing parts on their undercover cars. And they say Sears sold agents unnecessary parts and service 90% of the time. Ron Allen, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And charges of another ripoff of the public today. The government now says leading makers of infant formula are cheating on a program meant to help the children of the poor. Roberta Baskin has been investigating that.
Mothers, infants, and milk. It doesn't sound like a formula for controversy, but today the Federal Trade Commission charged America's big three baby formula companies with cheating American moms. A 2-year investigation by the FTC charges bid rigging in the Special Food Supplement Program for Women, Infants, and Children, known as WIC. It adds up to inflated prices for babies' milk.
Anti-competitive behavior in this industry is particularly harmful. Higher prices caused by illegal conduct deprive babies of a major and sometimes their only source of nutrition.
The WIC program accounts for more than a third of all baby formula sales. Abbott Labs makes Similac, Mead Johnson Enfamil, and American Home Products Nursoy. Among them, they control a hefty 90% of the infant formula business. The complaint over bidding practices singles out the WIC program in Puerto Rico, but is believed to be more widespread.
The price is just too much.
The FTC has negotiated a settlement with Mead Johnson and American Home Products. The two companies are agreeing to give the WIC program powdered infant formula worth $25 million wholesale. Abbott Labs is refusing to settle, so the FTC is taking them to court. All three infant formula companies say they did nothing wrong.
We absolutely and unequivocally deny that even these lesser allegations in the FTC's complaint. We never have, we never will knowingly violate the law.
Senator Howard Metzenbaum has been advocating a crackdown on the baby formula business.
It's almost impossible to figure out what the cost has been, but the impact upon the American consumer, and particularly poor women needing infant formula to feed their children, has just been an abomination.
The makers of baby formula have long been under fire for pushing use of their products instead of mother's milk, but they've been able to maintain a successful $1.5 billion market. According to the FTC's charges, this could be one of the reasons why. Dan?
Roberta, is this the first action of its kind?
Well, actually, just last year, the Florida Attorney General also took action against the major baby formula makers. So this is an echo of that, and there have been rumblings at some other states.
Roberta Baskin, thanks. Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News. Get ready for more sticker shock. Why new car prices are expected to go up in the fall. And Eye on the Earth. Tonight, smog. Clearly, it's still a major problem.
You know, Sunsweet pitted prunes also come in this nice little bite size. And they're every bit as sweet and delicious as Sunsweet's larger ones. Of course, that's just my opinion, which I certainly respect.
Get help in a hurry. Call a Bryant dealer to the rescue. Bryant's Quiet 2-Speed Plus air conditioner has a lower speed to help lower your energy bill. And only your Bryant dealer has it. So call Bryant to the rescue.
Come on, Bryant, and rescue me. Everybody needs some
$12 for every mile over the limit.
That's $300.
You can add fast, too. Next.
To send someone money fast, call 1-800-CALL-CASH or come to any Western Union location. Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
Inflation made a bit of a comeback last month. The government says wholesale prices shot up 0.4%, biggest jump in 19 months. Rising gasoline prices led the way. On the other hand, retail sales, a key to any economic recovery, rose just 0.2%. If you're in the market for a new car, you may want to buy one sooner rather than later. Ray Brady tells you why in tonight's report on the money crunch, making it in America.
Sure, it's fun to poke around those dealer showrooms, But if you're thinking about buying, you ought to know that some car analysts are saying prices could shoot up this fall, way up.
New car prices will rise in the fall by an average of $600 to $700, and in some cases by as much as $1,000.
You think that's sticker shock? Listen to this.
Expensive cars like Lexus and Infiniti could rise in price by as much as $2,000 this fall.
The prices of both Japanese and American cars have been racing along a one-way street, straight up. The average price of a car purchased in the United States is now $17,000.
I don't think they'll sell if they raise the prices in the fall.
Maybe not. But American automakers, contacted by CBS News, argue their price increases have been modest. For Japanese automakers, though, fewer people at home are buying cars. Plus, they're under pressure here to slow up their sales. Two prime reasons for the Japanese to raise prices still higher. Any car dealer can tell you what that means.
Traditionally, what has happened is when the Japanese have raised car prices, the American manufacturers have taken the opportunity to increase their prices also.
Detroit's got another card up its sleeve, and it's your automobile. The average age for cars on the road now is 7.8 years. They're close to becoming clunkers, close to rolling that last mile to the junkyard. And that will mean more demand for new cars, and once again, prices could go up.
Prices won't get better than this for a long time, maybe as much as 4 or 5 years until the next recession.
The Japanese automakers have already raised prices 3% this spring, and they could go up another 1% this summer. So this could be the time to stop poking around those showrooms and start getting serious. Ray Brady, CBS News, The Money Crunch.
Stick here with us for more CBS News, including Dan Quayle, out front again today, attacking on the campaign trail. We'll tell you what's behind it.
I am not going to back down, and I am not going to apologize for talking about values in this great country of ours.
Boy, this couch weighs a ton. Where does it go, Miss Lansbury?
Oh, right there, please. Wow. If I lifted that, I'd need buffering for the aches and pains afterwards.
You really believe in buffering?
I certainly do.
It's strong, huh?
Extra strength buffering has the strongest dosage of aspirin that you can buy. And I've discovered that the buffers don't weaken it. They just help prevent aspirin stomach upset.
Shouldn't you discover the strength of buffering?
And for nighttime aches, pains, and sleeplessness, try Bufferin AF Nighttime. It's aspirin-free.
Recently, DuPont announced that its energy unit Conoco would pioneer the use of new double-hulled oil tankers in order to safeguard the environment. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. DuPont, better things for better living.
Never seen nothing like it. I mean, Rusty Slade was an ornery sort. Always ate his old bran flakes just for fiber. But one morning, I gave him Kellogg's new complete bran flakes. Weren't the same. More than fiber, they had whole grain wheat. Flakes were new too, crispy, crunchy. Why, that Kellogg's complete bran flakes even had a better nutty taste. It was all so good, made Rusty smile. Almost. New Kellogg's complete bran flakes. Fiber and then some.
It began as a third-rate burglary. It led to the downfall of the president. We know all the players except one. Mark Wallace reveals Watergate, the secret story, Wednesday at 9.
President Bush lost one in Congress today. The House rejected the balanced budget amendment to the United States Constitution. It fell 2 votes short of passage. Opponents said it was a political gimmick in an election year. They pointed out that President Bush has never himself submitted a balanced budget. Mr. Bush said that this amendment is needed to cut the huge national debt. Vice President Quayle was out on the campaign trail again today, attacking those who support a woman's right to an abortion. As Wyatt Andrews reports, it's all part of a Bush-Quayle re-election strategy.
Our opponents treat God's greatest gift, new life, as an inconvenience to be discarded.
It's not just Murphy Brown anymore. Vice President Dan Quayle is punching up his rhetoric on family values and broadening his attack on what he calls a cultural elite. Hollywood, academics, and media, which he says are ridiculing him for defending the traditional family.
I had the audacity to suggest that the breakdown of the family was at the root of many of our social problems. And I proposed that the entertainment industry should bear its share of responsibility for setting norms of behavior.
He speaks for you.
Yes, in that issue.
Politically, Quayle knows what he's doing. For much of America, including Pat and Al Millville of Wichita, the fading two-parent family is an issue.
I'm a school teacher. I deal with children all day long. I'm a parent. I know what the lack of a real family can do to kids.
But Quayle's office also admits he's trying to seize a no-lose icon to help define the White House's listless campaign. He's clearly onto something. Even Madison Avenue is helping Quayle with the family association he's looking for.
Vice President Quayle, sir, what do you think of these family values? You lease a new night?
Being for family values, though, is just like George Bush being for the flag in 1988. There's almost no controversy, and it suggests your opponents are against it.
The thing that bothers me is there are so many people in America who believe in family values and hard work and who play by the rules, and they're still getting the shaft.
Quayle insists he truly believes in family values, but this is also a tactic that's been around before. When you're on the ropes as to how you'll actually govern, change the subject to mom and apple pie. Wyatt Andrews, CBS News, Washington.
Ross Perot took questions from a national television audience again today. Among the points Perot made, he said that he's against affirmative action because, as he put it, it, quote, increases the level of stress in society. Perot said he would ask the wealthy to voluntarily give up their Social Security benefits, and Perot said he would raise taxes only as a last resort. Secretary of State Baker is flying to London tonight for talks with his Russian counterpart. They're trying to nail down a nuclear arms agreement for Presidents Bush and Yeltsin to sign next week during their summit in Washington. A convoy of UN peacekeepers finally arrived today in the Bosnian capital of Sarajevo. They've been stalled for 24 hours when UN escort vehicles came under fire from the hills overlooking the city. They were stalled and they got going again. The UN team will try to arrange a ceasefire around the Sarajevo airport so it can be reopened for emergency aid to civilians caught up in the vicious civil war. Coming up here next on the CBS Evening News.
What I gotta die before you realize I was
a rapper takes aim at the police, and the police talk back.
Drink champagne and I'm living in black rain. Try to ban the AK, I got...
We Americans have some very particular ideas of what we want in our cars and trucks.
I feel like the car's like wrapped around.
One company gets input from customers at every stage of new product development to find out exactly what they're looking for. That may be why 5 of the top 10 selling vehicles in America are built by the same company, Ford Motor Company.
With your help, our quality gets better all the time.
Ford Motor Company. Quality is job one.
It's working.
It's working.
If you're under a physician's care for high blood pressure, ulcers, or asthma, then your choice of a non-prescription pain reliever is especially important for millions of people like you. The one doctors recommend most is Tylenol.
40th floor today. What if my diarrhea comes back?
Relax. He took Imodium AD.
Just once.
Imodium AD caplets often work in one dose, unlike the old standby.
Hi, hon. I feel great.
Imodium AD, the choice for one-dose relief.
Your routine, rugged, grueling, day after day. It's even harder when athlete's foot routinely comes back. But today, there's prescription-strength Lotrimin AF. Many types of fungus can cause athlete's foot, but Lotrimin AF is a broad-spectrum medicine, so it kills them all. No wonder it's the brand most recommended by doctors. So while there's no finish line for you, there is for your athlete's foot, Lotrimin AF.
Recycling can and does make a difference. We'll show you how it works and what goes wrong when it doesn't. Tomorrow on CBS This Morning with Harry Smith and Paula Zahn.
In Phoenix, Arizona today, a man put on a bulletproof vest, walked into a city government office building, and started shooting. The unidentified gunman killed a woman and wounded 2 other people. The Phoenix, Arizona attacker himself was killed during a gun battle with police. His motives are still unknown. In the wake of the Rodney King verdict and the civil unrest in Los Angeles, some police officers across the country now say they're feeling threatened by the lyrics of a rap song. James Hattori in Dallas has our report.
The kid got killed on the way to school, or a cop shot Joe Kid in the backyard.
As a self-proclaimed gangster rapper, Ice-T plays to raw emotion and outrageous themes. But today, a group of Texas police officers condemned one of his latest songs, Cop Killer, as an invitation to commit murder.
My truck gets sawed off. I got my headlights turned off. I'm out to bust some shots off. I'm out to dust some cops off.
The combined law enforcement associations of Texas today called for a halt to sales of the album, saying Ice-T may have freedom of expression, but recording company Warner Brothers has a social responsibility. They don't rule out a boycott of other Time Warner businesses, including the Six Flags amusement parks.
Send these people a message that this is not going to be acceptable for a company as large as Time Warner and Warner Brothers.
No one in law enforcement likes the message in Ice-T's lyrics, but at least one police group, a group of African-American officers, says the message varies depending on how you interpret the song.
If you take the words literally, you can make it what you want to, but if you take the words internally, I think the message is saying that, hey, we have a problem. There's some bad police officers out here, some white, some black.
The song was written before the LA riots. Ice-T says it was a warning to abusive police officers of simmering tension in the black community.
And until these cops realize that we're not just going to continually get our butts kicked in the street and we will retaliate, they're not going to act like human beings.
But will young rap fans see the song as encouragement to attack all cops?
I don't think it's reality. I think he's just trying to make money, man.
It's reality. It's going to make a bunch of people shoot the police, though, for real.
And if Ice-T is simply trying to send a message, the police are at least hearing it. James Hattori, CBS News, Dallas.
The Remington microscreen shaves as close as a blade. Hold it. Remington's also quick and comfortable with two thin, flexible screens. The Remington microscreen, quick, comfortable, shaves as close as a blade, or your money back. Attaboy, that's Remington.
Inside and out, Sears has your paint needs covered. Pick up Weather Beater exterior or Easy Living interior flat finishes. Your choice, only $10.99 a gallon. But hurry, this terrific paint sale ends soon.
Things are different. The new Pontiac Grand Am Sports Sedan proves it. Things are better because this Grand Am offers you the power and performance of a big V6. You'd pay thousands more for a V6 on a Camry, and it's not even an option on an Accord. In fact, Consumers Digest named Grand Am a Best Buy. Pontiac Grand Am, a new kind of driving excitement.
Her name is Sarah, and she's lucky, because today she'll encounter egrets doing dances and alligators in the wild. She'll see how other moms take care of their kids, and she'll be doing this, recycling, through a program of the National Park Service and its recycling partner, Dow.
We can make a difference in what tomorrow brings.
Together with the National Park Service and folks like Sarah.
Dow lets you do great things.
It's nothing serious. It only wakes me up a couple of times a week. It really doesn't affect me. I avoid foods that are fried or spicy. I can deal with it. I just take antacids.
If you have frequent heartburn symptoms like acid indigestion or burning in the chest, talk to your doctor. These may be signs of a serious medical problem. Your doctor has treatment plans that can help.
It's only a heartburn. I should learn to live with it. Right?
Frequent heartburn. Isn't it time you talk to your doctor?
In place of our regular Eye on America report, we're spending some time on a special series called Eye on the Earth, all about our environment. Tonight, correspondent Bill Lagatuta has the story of a big, beautiful city still trying to find its way out of a toxic haze.
If you want to know just how powerful the smog can be in Los Angeles, just climb up on the roof with Kim Abelies, a local artist.
In removing this stencil, you see that the smog is really what's creating the image.
She takes porcelain plates, leaves them outside, and in just a month, the acidy air creates a permanent etching. Here, presidential portraits in pollution.
If you really think about what it is I've done here, it's very depressing.
And for 40 depressing, eye-burning years, LA has been the smog capital of the country, and still is. Its brown cloud on hot summer days, the stuff of legend, if not bronchitis. The past 2 years here have been the cleanest on record. But despite the toughest regulations in the country, LA still fails to meet federal air standards 1 out of every 2 days. So the smog experts are getting creative. Soon, smog will be traded as a commodity, like pork bellies or wheat futures. Here's how. Legally, the total amount of pollution must be reduced annually. Companies which exceed the requirements get credits, which they can sell to other companies which can't meet the goal.
What the program boils down to is the right to buy the ability to pollute and the right to sell the ability to pollute.
Eventually, the credits will be more and more valuable, so companies which clean up faster make money. Those which don't pay. Through the nose.
They're the cleanest mass-produced car in the world.
Ford is now making an Escort model that pollutes 80% less, as all the automakers race to build the kinds of ecologically sound cars they once said were impossible. Air quality officials have given them no choice.
We are pushing them hard, harder than anybody else in the world, perhaps.
By law, electric cars must be phased in starting in 1997. By early next century, 10% of all cars on the road must produce no emissions. 2/3 of all the smog here is a result of LA's addiction to the automobile. And there's even a new strategy to change that.
We're underground in a subway in Los Angeles.
You heard right, a New York-style subway in LA. The first 4 miles opening soon, connecting to the city's new above-ground light rail. Will you be able to get Los Angeles drivers out of their cars and into public transit?
Absolutely.
How are you going to start your barbecue this year?
That's a major question here. And when officials banned regular lighter fluid because it pollutes, out of nowhere, this new product appeared.
Reformulated to meet all LA air quality standards.
When companies are giving incentives, they can do a better job than we can of finding how to come up with new revolutionary ways to clean up their emissions.
Even free parking, which the citizens of LA believe to be a God-given right, may go away. If you pay to park, you drive less, or so goes the theory. All of which means LA could one day be smog-free, that city dwellers could actually see the mountains back there somewhere. But environmentalists are not breathing freely yet.
The millions more people who will be coming here over the next couple of decades, more people born here, they have to get to work. They need to find affordable housing. So development is moving further away, and so we may see that growth will outstrip the gains that we've made, and that our air quality could get worse.
About the only one who would benefit from that would be the artist who works in smog. But for cleaner skies, she'd gladly go out of business. Bill Lagatura, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that's part of our world tonight. Dan Rather for the CBS Evening News. Good night.
Experience CBS News.
It's ritzy, it's glitzy, but it's a troubled sea. The dolphins are a symbol of what's wrong, but this man's dredging up hope. Is there time to turn the tide? Eye on the Earth on the CBS Evening News tomorrow. This is CBS.